In this video, we're going to be doing GCSE Foundation Angles exam questions. We're going to be continue on with the section in your November Resit induction book. Okay, so on to question 13 now. Here we want to calculate the size of angle X. Now, there's a couple of ways you could go about this. This is a pentagon, although it doesn't look like a pentagon. It doesn't look like a regular pentagon. It is a five-sided shape. So you could use the angle properties of how many degrees do you expect to be in a pentagon. But there is another way to do this. And the other way to do this is to split this into rectangle and a triangle. Now what that means is that this is a right angle and this is a right angle. And so this angle here is now 160 minus 90, so it's equal to 70 degrees. And it means this angle here, similarly, is 115 minus the 90 degrees in the right angle, which is 25 degrees. So in order to find X, we're going to do 180, take away the two angles at the bottom of the triangle, which we now know, which are 70 and 25, and we get an answer of 85 degrees. Okay, and 2 marks there, remember, you're going to get some marks for the working along the way. Okay, so here we have, in question 14, a regular pentagon ABCDE. So we want to work out the angle X. Now what you have to remember in a pentagon, this is a little bit side working out, a pentagon can be broken up into 3 triangles. Each is 180 degrees. So a pentagon is equal to 3 times 180 degrees, which is 540 degrees. Now, a couple of things to remember. Regular pentagon means all sides and angles are equal. So, in terms of my solution here, working out the angle X, what I know is there are 5 angles here, and so if I divide the total degrees in a pentagon, which is 540, by 5, then it tells me how many degrees the angle X is, and that's 108. Remember that any polygon can be split into triangles. If you just stick with one corner, connect up all the other corners, and then count up the triangles, that tells us how many degrees in the shape. Work out the angle Y. Well, the angle Y, you need to remember that this side here and this side here are the same, because all the angles and sides are the same. So that means that this angle here is also angle Y. So what I can do is I can find out that actually the 2Y that are left over, the ones that I don't know, that's equal to 180, take away the angle X, which I do know. Take away 108. So 2Y is equal to 72 degrees. And so if I divide that by then 2, in order to find what one angle is, I get that Y is 36 degrees. Okay, so let's move on to question 15. Shown below is a regular hexagon with an exterior angle labelled Y. So I'm not going to draw additional one here, but I am going to fill in. Let's pick a corner. I'm just going to pick this corner here. I'm going to connect it to every other corner. So it's already connected to this corner. It's connected to this corner. I'm now connected to this corner. I'm now connected to this corner. And I'm already connected to this corner here. So this is 180 degrees. This is 180 degrees. This is 180 degrees. And this is 180 degrees. So, what I know is a hexagon equals 4 times 180 degrees, which is 720. Now, one angle, in that case, equals, that shouldn't be 760, that's stupid. It should be 720. One angle is then the 720 degrees total, divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each angle is 120. And so what I know now is that this angle here is 120. So Y will be equal to 180 minus 120, which is 60 degrees. That is one way of approaching the question. Actually, there is another way of approaching this, and that is you can do is use this little formula if you can remember it. Exterior angle equals 360 divided by number of sides. And in this case, that's 360 divided by 6, which is 60. And this never changes. So it can also be used to find the interior angle of a polygon. And in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go back and double check on my pentagon. So let's go back to my pentagon. If I was to extend this, and let's call this Z, Z would be equal to 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 5. So when I divide this by 5, Z is equal to 72. So then X would be 180 minus 72, which is 108. And so yes, it does work, and you can see that relationship. Okay, so it's good to learn both of these because you can use them as checks, and you can just use them to approach questions in different ways depending on what you want to do. Let's go on and have a look at question 16. Question 16, we've got a regular hexagon and a regular octagon. So we want to calculate the size of angle Y. Okay, so what I know at the moment is regular hexagon. We know already, I'll just reuse what I had from before. Okay, so a hexagon, we know the interior angles equals 720, and one angle equals 720 over 6, which is 120. So, octagon. How can I do my octagon? Well, let's do the exterior angle this time. Exterior angle here, let's just call this X. X will be equal to 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 8. So 360 divided by 8 is in fact 45 degrees. So X equals 45. So this angle inside now is 180 minus 45, which equals 135. Now why have I done all this? Well, I've done all this because I now know that this is 120 degrees. I now know that this is 135 degrees. So given that this is an angle around a point, Y is going to be 360 minus 120 minus 135. So we get an answer of 105 degrees. Again, just as a side note for a matter of interest, let's just double check with an octagon how many degrees in an octagon. So let's start from this point, let's break it up into triangles. Already connected to that corner, connected to that corner, that's 2, connected to that corner, let's connect it to that corner, let's connect it to that corner, let's connect it to this corner. Last corner there is connected, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So in an octagon, 6 times 180, which equals 1080. Now, one angle equals 1080 divided by the number of sides, which is 8. And if you do 1080 divided by 8, you get an answer of, let's make the top of that clearer because it looks like 680 at the moment. 1080 divided by 8, and you'll see you do get in fact an answer of 135 degrees. Okay, so I can back check, and that makes sense at 135. Okay, well I hope all those solutions made sense and that you were able to follow my answers.